every moment counts. We've all said it, embraced it, shared the message in some form or another. Those instances we try to steal from time and keep close forever to remind us of a life lived. Photographic evidence. And yet, what is a frozen memory without meaning? We pick up a camera, each of us, and become storytellers. Shamans in a foreign land, holding a familiar tool. Our intent is every time fresh, if not every day known, on a path not destined for file folders or render queues or an excuse to click upload, share, post. It's a steeper climb than that, into unknowns. A camera does not simply capture these moments. It pushes you into them, walks you to the edge, takes your hand and counts down from 3. We look through the lens to gain perspective, to pinpoint our place in the world and realize others. A fresh piece of glass can shift perspective, can invite new connections, and with every instance in our pockets, skill grows alongside understanding. The next traveler on our path will have a memory of moments we've never even dreamt of, ready for a fresh field of view.
Earlier this year, NPS Canada contacted us to shoot a short film showcasing a new camera they had coming out. What we wanted to do with this campaign was not only showcase what the camera was capable of doing, but also showcase a new landscape that a lot of people might not be familiar with.
We started pre-production about 2 weeks before our first principal day of shooting, and it was critical that we had everything extremely well organized.
And we wanted to make sure we had kind of everything in place before we landed in Nova Scotia. The key with this project was to make sure that we took kind of a new approach to production. So we made sure we had all the support gear here that we needed to capture the shots that we were hoping to in the way that we wanted. And with this production, we had a lot of great tools on set. We had the Kessler Cineslider, we had the CineDrive system, we had the Movi M5 and Octocopter as well.
It's definitely a good practice to lay everything out right before you go shooting so that everybody knows how every piece works, what goes together with what. I kind of liken it to that moment you feel before going into battle. Everyone's, just squaring everything away, and it's a really exciting time.
One thing that was also a little bit different with this project is that we had to do our scout at the same time as our production. So we came out and we had our first 4 days of scouting where we really toured across the province and checking out kind of the different locations that we wanted to feature in this film. Within those first 4 days, I think we put on about like 5,000 kilometers. So we really were able to explore a vast part of Nova Scotia. And I think by doing that, we were able to really find out the key spots that helped us tell this story.
What we really set out to do was to capture the story of the legacy of a fisherman. We wanted to tell the story of a fisherman who has been working hard his whole life and has a real passion for what he does. And I think we really achieved that by coming across our main character, Manny.
The turnaround time for this project was extremely tight. We landed in Nova Scotia on June 16th, and we were set to deliver the final assets, which included a documentary film, BTS film, and photo campaign by July 6th. So we knew when we hit the ground in Nova Scotia, we really had to hit the ground running.
Every day was filled with lots of new things to do, a few new challenges. We had to secure locations, secure talent, secure boats, trucks, all kinds of things. Not everything was laid out as we planned, and when a door closed, a window opened, and we always found some way to succeed and achieve what our intended desire was. Of course, because we worked in so many different locations and so many different environments, we'd be going and knocking on doors and getting a lead from one person to go find the next person, so on.
We would pull up to Peggy's Cove, we would start chatting with people, and they just opened their doors to us. It was really, really quite incredible. I'm not sure that you would get that in too many other places.
With this project, what we really tried to do is evolve our style of storytelling. So not just go with the cookie cutter approach and go with what we know works, is more of finding a way to add new elements to the story that's unique from other things we've done. When thinking of the best approach for this project, we knew it was imperative to focus on the new features of the camera that really excited us and helped tell our story.
Our goal with this piece was not just to show every new feature of the camera, but really show some of the new specialty features that really help us in our workflow.
I've been using the D810 for about 8 months now, and up until this point I've been extremely happy with the images I've gotten from the camera. With the introduction of the D810, they've really catered this camera towards the filmmaker and really added features that makes this camera even better for the different projects that I want to work on, and really maximizes the capabilities of this sensor.
One of the most unique new features on the D810 is the ability to have auto ISO while we're recording live in video mode.
There was a shot that we wanted to achieve where we bring our lead character out from a dark, smoky environment where he's sewing his fishing net to bring him outside into a full sunlit exterior.
Prior to the D810, we would have had to use an aperture priority setting to be able to achieve that fisherman shot. And with the D810, we were able to put it on auto ISO, and it allowed us to really smoothly pull it from a dark situation into a bright situation, and the exposure just blends really perfectly.
Oftentimes when you're shooting in the field, the sun's setting, you need to make quick decisions. A huge advantage is having a quick menu information button on the back of the camera that's right next to your thumb. With that, you can access your audio levels, you can access your frame rates, any other pertinent information that you need to make a quick decision on the fly.
One aspect of this project that we wanted to include was the use of slow motion, and the main reason why we wanted to do this is to really try and immerse people and the audience in the Nova Scotia landscape and the way of living. The second we landed in Nova Scotia, we really realized that the pace in Nova Scotia was so much slower, and you really got to enjoy the landscape and really the location you're in. So when approaching the creative on this project, we really wanted to find a way to capture this essence, and we felt that the best way to do this would be through the use of slow motion. They've also introduced a flat picture profile setting. Shooting with the flat picture profile is critical, and we knew coming into this project that we really wanted to push this final image. It was really cool seeing these images in the edit suite and really seeing how far we could push them. This dynamic range and the latitude that it captured and the way it captured it really allowed us to push these images in the direction that we needed this project to go.
Backing up your footage is absolutely critical. There's nothing more important or more devastating than losing a shot. A great option that this camera allows you to do is to both record compressed and uncompressed at the same time.
I think that once people get their hands on this camera and see all the new features that Nikon's added with the camera, that people will be extremely excited not only with the camera, but the results they get from the camera as well.
So the hunt continues, an expedition to the next instance, the shutter revealing the next glimpse of dedication, passion, a hint of perfection, a life without limit, a story with purpose, my own. I can say things, and you can choose to believe them, but this camera proves them. And so we say, every moment counts.